The Raker of Solnari. I've never heard that name before. Let's keep this news confidential for the time being. It would only cause even more panic amongst the people of Krai. But if this Rarir is as you describe, he will be a truly formidable opponent if we try to take him on by our strength alone.
Yeah, things might be okay if everyone was willing to work together, but right now... Exactly! Whatever the case, let's start by telling those we can get to join up about the crisis. As it happens, we have our own reasons to protect Krai, but even if we didn't, we'd never leave people in the lurch. That ain't our style.
Thank you. The Frostmoon Scions will stand with you to prevent this crisis as best we can. In addition, I believe that the relationships between the various factions in this land are not cast in stone. The winds of change are blowing, and we Scions have nowhere to run. Our faith, our sect, all of it is here. Whether our foe is the Fatui or this Raker, we must stand our ground and remain true to ourselves, even to the last.
Let's see... Speaking of allies, the Krumkake craft shop is the closest by, right? And F is sure to help us.
The wind blows stronger. May your path ahead be smooth.
Friendly approach detected. We meet again.
Listen, listen! We've got updates on the wild hunt situation.
Threat level exceeds expectations.
Phew, doesn't matter if he's the Rahira Solnari or Solari or whatever. One volley from my cannon, and he'll be blown to smithereens! You were there when we fired it, right? If that isn't the kind of firepower that helps you sleep at night, I don't know what is!
True, but the cannon only works against shambling monsters, right? What if Rarir's super fast?
Well, we'll just get enough to go grab him and tie him down.
You're not taking this seriously at all, are you?
Anyways, firepower is not a concern. See those canisters over there? That's all concentrated Kuvaki, which we'll be shipping to Nasha Town. More than enough ammo in there to blast that Fatui research facility to bits in a single shot.
You sure have been looking forward to this battle, huh?
Of course! This is gonna be the shot that shocks the world. All of Krai, heck, all of Snezhnaya will know my name once we're through. Sure, travel safe.
I know. There remains intel left on shared.
Oh, right. Yeah. Since you're investigating the Wild Hunt, something pretty weird's happened in Nasha Town. Should probably watch out for that once you're back. Remember that Sosi guy? The Ratnik in charge of firing the cannon? He's been found dead in their organization's offices.
Wait, what? Didn't we just see him, like, half a day ago?
Yeah, it's still new news. So not many people are in the know. We were only informed because we'd worked together closely. And even then, only just now. I'll send Anafa over to Nasha Town with some flowers later.
Oh, he seemed like a good guy. Didn't put on any airs despite being a superior officer either.
The data concurs. This gentleman appears to have been one of the most accomplished amongst the Lightkeeper's sergeant majors. His character has also received commendation. Most would have lacked the motivation to fatally attack him.
Oh, that makes it even worse.
Hey! What do you mean, actually? Either way, I'm not clued in on the details. Only Ratniki have been allowed on site to investigate the scene. You'll have to find some way in if you want to check it out for yourselves.
Got it. Let's go then. You coming along, Anafa?
My tasks are incomplete. The last few batches of ammunition must be randomly inspected.
All right. We'll see you later.
Hang on! Weren't you supposed to bring me some candy? You said you would.
Sorry, but things happened kind of suddenly, so...
Batch inspection complete. Approved. Next up.
This must be it. Oh, doesn't look like there's any chance of us getting in with that Ratnik guarding the door, though. Should we go speak to the guard first?
Might as well try squeezing blood from a stone.
Ah! Never! When did you...
I came over to take a look as soon as I received the news just now. I.know told you about this then? Before we start, shall we see if we've made the same guess? Indeed. Quicker than we thought as well. Keep your eyes peeled for any clues once we get in. No need to jump to conclusions.
But how are we supposed to get in at all?
Just follow me.
I'm sorry, but we're not open to guests right now.
Sorry about that. They're here to investigate.
All of them?
The paperwork checks out.
All right then. Enter. For now, please keep the current situation confidential.
Paimon might have said this before, Nefer, but you sure do come prepared.
Shishich, my old friend. Fill us in, if you would.
Greetings. If you would allow me. The murder happened not long ago. The Sergeant Major was killed by a single piercing strike from a polearm. We have performed a preliminary sweep of the crime scene to facilitate investigation. No obvious signs of a violent struggle. No damaged doors or windows. The culprit must have used some other means to enter the room unopposed before performing the deed.
Entering unopposed. So, do you think there's a chance that the culprit would usually have right of entry?
At the moment, the most valuable lead we have is based on an eyewitness report from a nearby resident. Specifically, that Flins was seen entering and leaving this place in the time period when the crime most likely occurred.
Flins?
We have tried to contact him, but he has not replied.
Very odd indeed.
So, he's the prime suspect right now, right?
To be honest, I'm not particularly inclined to believe that this was an inside job. Flint's can come across a bit eccentric, but he does well in missions on the whole. He also had no disagreements with the Sergeant Major that we know of. So he lacks the motive to commit such a terrible crime. But neither the eyewitness report nor the nature of the fatal wound itself are in his favor. So we are looking for him at present.
Looks like there's not much else to dig up here. Let's go outside and discuss what we've seen. So, the evidence points to Flins, and he just so happens to have disappeared without a trace. A sticky situation indeed. We know that this Flins could have been Rerir in disguise, but we lack the evidence to prove this to anyone else. Furthermore, Flins has left us with many questions, all of which will require a reasonable explanation.
Yeah! He said he would report back to headquarters, but it seems he hasn't gone at all. What could he be doing?
Let's approach the issue this way. First, we must determine our culprit. Was it Flins or Rerir in disguise?
Yeah. What reason would Flins have to murder Sosie anyway?
None, as far as I know. And even if he had a motive, it would have been easier to do so out in the wild, rather than in Nasha Town.
Yeah. They would have often gone out on missions together. Plenty of chances there.
Yes, but there's one thing worth noting here. Remember the intel we got back at the tavern? No one has ever seen a phantom that can take the form of other humans within the Wild Hunt. This means that he has been hesitant to abuse this ability, or allow it to become common knowledge, likely so that he could act in secret under other guises.
But no matter what, borrowing identities comes with risks, right? What if you bump into the person you're imitating along the way?
Precisely. In other words, his goal must have been worth the risk, similar to how he came in disguise to obtain the moon marrow. He likely knew then that the real Flins would not appear and get in his way during this time. We'd have to ask Flins ourselves, I'm afraid. But we shouldn't jump to any conclusions here. We can't discount the possibility that he might actually be the murderer himself. Not yet, at least. And there are other, less likely scenarios. For instance, Rerir may have already killed Flins long ago, and been living as him for some time now. Yes, that is our ticket to a breakthrough.
Then we've got to find him before the Lightkeepers do, or we might never see him again.
Steady now. Our friends should be back soon.
We've tracked him down to a beach north of Nasha Town. The Wild Hunt is present too, so we're putting a force together. I'll have you know that this is top secret information I'm leaking here.
Don't worry, you'll receive a top-class reward in return. The beach is all yours. I'll stay and slow the Lightkeepers down. Things might go south if you bump into one another.
Oh right, before we go, should we reveal Rerir's secret? Since he's trying to keep it all hush-hush, why don't we just pull the curtains on his little trick? That'll teach him to sneak around pretending to be other people. Hey! Why are you laughing?
Oh, I was just imagining how satisfying that would feel. But I'm afraid this revelation would only stir up more chaos. Setting aside the matter of evidence, some may trust Flint's on our account, whereas others would suspect him on account of his behavior. Tossing him into a swirling tumult of public opinion like that might just give Rerir more opportunities to capitalize on. And think about it. Once people learn that he can masquerade as those they trust, would they continue to welcome friends into their homes with such open hearts? Unease grips the hearts of those in Nasha Town already. We should avoid throwing more fuel onto the fire.
Yeah, you're right. You've really thought of everything, huh? Nothing for it, then. We've just gotta find Flint's.
Indeed. But just in case, let me stress once more. We should neither be excessively afraid of Rerir, nor trust in Flint's too lightly. This light source is of special Lightkeeper design. It provides illumination within Wild Hunt anomalies, and can briefly dispel the abyssal fog within.
Oh, right. We'll have to deal with that mess, too. Yeah, this'll be important. Thanks a bunch, Nefer.
You're welcome. I've charged it to your account, by the way.
Hey, you! Whoa! The fog's really rolling in. Quick! Grab the light source! Is that a lightkeeper's lantern? Is there someone up ahead? Come on, let's go see! Monsters!
Burn it down! Incinerate!
Bow your head. Solidify!
Ha! Ha! Ha!
Light it up! Wrath from the sky! Incinerate!
This monster was lurking near the lamp. That must have been a planned ambush. We're not falling for that again. There's something inside it. Some small device. Huh? Why isn't it giving off light anymore? Is it broken? Oh, we better take it with us. A fight took place here. Did Flins leave these marks?
Is someone there? Please, help me!
Isn't that Flint's voice? Did you hear that? But is that really him?
How shall the Savior save themselves?
Ah! More baddies!
Rev the engines! Incinerate! Light up the blazing sun!
This is order. Solidify! Silence! Let the mighty be humbled!
We'll be in trouble if these spooky shadows touch us! Quick, use the lantern! in trouble if these spooky shadows touch us! Quick, use the lantern!
Operissos. Yamalune sattesi forampos kalun. Besenni kestun.
Hand it over. That was mine from the first.
Tutoni nektorai desmerte.
You're a fool. You again.
What the? It's stronger than before. Lantern now!
It escaped again. This situation speaks for itself, I presume.
So, you were tangling with Rare out here all by yourself.
So, that vile phantom hiding inside the Wild Hunt has a name of his own.
Yeah, you don't look so good.
Sorry you had to see me like this. All the same, you have my sincere thanks for your aid. To think you had the power to so easily cleanse the filth staining the lantern, which tormented me so. Might I ask what magic that was? Or whose pupil you are? I believe I might have saved some face had I mastered just a fraction of such abilities. And an enviable constitution it is. A pity that such abilities cannot be acquired.
why did abyssal power just burst out of your lantern anyway?
That is a long story. Many moons ago, when on Wild Hunt clearance duty, I shattered one of its cores only for a special crystalline object to fall out. I sensed a power surging within it that was at once familiar yet strangely illusory. I freely confess to being an avid collector of ancient gems, coins, and other curios, and curiosity it was that had me store this crystal inside my lantern. Afterwards, I wound up collecting a few more such crystals quite by accident, and discovered that they could merge into a single piece without my prompting. Though my understanding ends there. It was only recently that they began slowly emitting abyssal energy, which could neither be dispelled nor weakened.
Is that what Rarer claimed belonged to him? That must be what he's after then!
I concur. And here's the kicker. Before he was exceedingly weak. In fact, I've already beaten him several times, though I could not destroy him completely. But I noticed while engaging him that the crystal fragment would restrict my powers. As such, it occurred to me that I should hide it rather than tangle with him any longer. Alas, he has proved most fixated upon this fragment. And for some reason, his strength has grown by leaps and bounds since I last encountered him. And where, might I ask, would it be safe? Or do you think it wiser I threw it away? Were our places switched, would you discard it, knowing that its perilous might was beyond your ability to counteract, yet capable of causing greater harm should it lie beyond your grasp?
Yeah, throwing it away would mean giving the bad guy what he wants. But exposing yourself to its corrosion and growing weaker by the day, that sounds super dangerous too.
Only those who shoulder risks are qualified to welcome in the turning of the tide. Those who flee when troubles come are nothing more than deserters. Though I shan't deny that I have your fortuitous arrival and most outstanding assistance to thank for my continued ability to speak such platitudes. Either way, it seems this fragment is now utterly still. That must have made it useless to Rarir. I doubt he would have retreated so readily otherwise. I imagine this wasn't the only reason you came looking for me, though?
Well, no, but...
Ah. I see. To use the Lightkeepers to find me, I suspect. I did not inform anyone of my true whereabouts, so he should have had more difficulty tracking me down. They alone have the ability to quickly pinpoint my position. Our Sergeant Major has a Kuvaki-powered device that can be used to detect others who bear a lantern. They usually don't pay my whereabouts much mind unless they absolutely must find me.
You mean this thing?
Yes. Where did you pick this up?
We found it inside a lantern when we first charged into the Wild Hunt anomaly.
It must belong to a Ratnik dispatched to investigate the area, who, it seems, dropped everything and fled the moment they saw the Wild Hunt massing to strike. Well, at least they're not dead.
Guess it's not surprising how they found you so fast then. But if Rarer could have shapeshifted into Sosi, why didn't he just use that Kavaki device to find you himself?
Were he to use it, that device would likely fail to act as it should, owing to abyssal interference.
Ah, guess that explains it.
So not only is this Rarir ruthless, but a purveyor of dirty tricks too. You might not be familiar with Sergeant Major Sosi, but he put his heart and soul into every mission. Our deployments are subject to orders from headquarters, and his orders were to be stationed long-term in Nasha Town. As such, he was very seldom able to go back and visit his family. He worked so hard, seeking to produce excellent results that might convince them to transfer him out.
Oh.
But every year they would say, "Wait a little longer. Wait a little longer." He often wondered if it was because he was lacking somehow. In truth, everyone had nothing but the highest praise for him. But good work does not always lead to good outcomes. The higher-ups would think, he's doing great where he is. Let him stay there forever. A most convenient choice for them, at least. Whereas his subordinates would think, wouldn't it be a shame if we were to lose such a talented, easygoing boss? So he waited. And he waited. Until the world closed its eyes in the depths of the night, and a lantern was slowly lit for him alone, that no one could see. One that has played out many times throughout history. Another reason to take this Rerere's head.
Oh. At least we now know that he's looking for these fragments inside Wild Hunt anomalies.
And yet, what did the Sergeant Major have to do with any of this? Why did he have to die?
Could Rarer be angry that the cannon Sosi set up to fire destroyed the fragments he wanted to collect?
Could you take me to the scene of the crime? We shall just have to exercise some discretion then. Come on. Let us be on our way. I understand the situation more or less. Much has happened, I see. Either way, I suppose we were lucky not to receive a warm welcome on the way over here. It seems my fellow Lightkeepers do not wish to make this case public just yet.
Yeah. Guess Nasha Town's already been enough of a mess lately.
Let's stop here. Any further and the Ratniki might detect us. Since you two can enter, I'll have to request that you kindly pick me up once you're inside.
Oh? And how are we supposed to do that?
You'll know when the time comes. See you later.
Still acting all mysterious. But He seemed pretty confident, so guess we've gotta trust him. Hello?
Ah, you're the special assistants for this investigation, right?
Yep, that's us.
Well, you're just in time. We're basically done investigating the crime scene. All that's left is to finish writing up some records. Then properly dispose of Sergeant Major Sosie's remains. If there's anything else you'd like to look into, this is your last chance to do so. Sadly, no. The motive behind the killing remains a mystery. And while we somehow managed to get news of Flint's, an unexpected accident caused us to miss him. But considering that Nefer from the Curatorium of Secrets came forward to help investigate, I have no doubt that a breakthrough's not far off.
We'll do our part too. Alright, we're going in. See you later.
For now, please keep the current situation confidential.
Phew, we're in. Thanks to Nefer's reputation, once again. But we still know nothing about how Flint is gonna enter, or how we'll pick him up. Never mind how we'll leave later on. Something the matter? Huh. That looks like Flint's lantern. But where is he exactly? Well, we've got the lantern. What now? Oh, Paimon almost screamed out loud. You never said you could do magic like that.
This lantern may have a rather peculiar shape, but so long as it doesn't glow, it won't stand out in the dark. I calculated that you would have already entered, so I chose a spot visible from the window before using light to send you a signal. As I thought, you're both sharp-eyed and on the ball.
The perks of being veteran adventurers, huh?
Your composure is more impressive still. You're right. That required a little trick of my own. But let us leave such trivial topics for a more relaxed moment. Our time is limited after all. Just as I thought. Come, try sensing it yourself. Identical powers must flow from the same source. It was the Wild Hunt, then, that took my form and killed the Sergeant Major. But why do this?
To sow chaos by depriving the Lightkeepers of one of their commanders?
If the Wild Hunt's true form is powerful enough to stand against the world as you claim, I fear not even the full force of Lightkeepers could stand against him, let alone the handful of us stationed in Noshatown. He would have no reason whatsoever to pick quarrels with individual ants. Let's look again more closely. We must leave no stone unturned. Well, that makes things simpler. In that case, allow me to disturb the fallen. May the ghost flame guide your spirit. May you rest in peace. When we fought, he seemed like quite a reckless foe. Certainly not the meticulous mastermind type. Yet here we are, grappling with this enigma he has left us.
Oh, if we can't get any leads, we might have to go back and find Nefer. Oh, the longer we're stuck here, the likelier he is to achieve his goal. Ugh, this is so frustrating! You mean this?
I'm not well versed in machinery, but that means his mechanical arm is malfunctioning, right? It might have been broken in combat.
No, that's not right. Paimon remembers this signal. We saw it before while repairing the cannon. It doesn't mean that the components are damaged. It just means that they're due for regular maintenance, so the device has stopped operating. But the real problem is that... Yeah, he even helped us find the maintenance port. It could still be a coincidence, but considering it hasn't been long at all since we were repairing that cannon...
The Sosi you met could have been Rerir in disguise. In other words, he played the Sergeant Major before disguising himself as me.
That's right! If only there was some way to prove it.
You mean Hintsa?
We had a short chat with him once at the tavern, but it's so late. Guess it'll have to wait till tomorrow.
I know where he lives. The situation is critical, so let us now take up the role of uninvited guests ourselves. Ah, yes. And one more thing. Remember to pick me up by the window.
Oh, it's you two. And Flins. Given the hour, I guess it must be an emergency.
It is indeed. Our sincerest apologies for interrupting your rest. We are investigating a certain matter in connection with Sergeant Major Sosi. We'd like to know if he has sent you a request for maintenance to be performed on his mechanical arm.
Sosi. Oh, so the rumors I heard, are they true? You know what? Forget it. I'm sure it's complicated. No further questions from me. Just a moment. I need to check my records.
Thank you for your understanding.
Got it. 8 days ago, he came to request a round of regular maintenance. But as it happened, I had run out of the required components. His mechanical arm is especially sophisticated, having been designed by Aino personally. The parts, too, could only be made by her. As such, they usually take several days to arrive. In fact, this time, he even asked me if we could push his request forward. And I understood, completely. Not being able to use your hand, that's rough for anyone. But even more so if your job involves fighting out in the wild. So I did my best to convince Ino to rush the job. And eventually, the parts arrived. 3 days ago, if I remember correctly. I sent word to the Lightkeepers immediately, but he never showed up. I assumed he was just out on some mission or other. What's with those faces? Everything all right?
You've provided us with some very crucial information, Hintsa. You have our thanks. We can't make everything public yet, but once our investigation is complete, I will return to thank you and provide an explanation on behalf of all the Lightkeepers.
No worries. Just glad I could help.
Thanks. Good night.
Good night. Hope the investigation goes well.
It seems that it is as we guessed. The Sergeant Major Sosi you encountered while repairing the cannon was actually Rerir in disguise. 8 days ago, he had yet to act. But at some point after that, he attacked and imprisoned the Sergeant Major. With the immense gap in strength between them, the job was finished in a single blow. And thus Rerir had no opportunity to discover the malfunctioning mechanical arm. Perhaps his mastery of shapeshifting extends only to outward form, and not therefore to complex internal mechanisms. Hence his oversight of the uniquely mechanical traits of the Sergeant Major's arm, and in turn, this flaw in his disguise.
You're saying he thought no one would realize his mechanical arm is actually made of some kind of black muck on the inside, so long as it worked, right? Still seems like there's a lot of guesswork involved here, but it mostly makes sense.
This also has me stumped for the moment. The cannon has always been used to destroy the Wild Hunt, and it works as intended. But how would that help Rerir exactly? Assuming he plans to collect the fragments within Wild Hunt anomalies, firing the cannon works against him, since it would blast those fragments to smithereens.
So we solved one mystery, only to dig up another. Whew. This is getting Paimon kind of down. And sleepy, too.
Yes, I'd say it is high time we took a break. Seems like there's a lot left to investigate. We'll have to fight Rerir eventually. And we'll do a poor job if we're not well rested.
Yeah, we should totally get some sleep first.
A reasonable suggestion. I have no doubt that my quarters have been turned inside out by now, at any rate. My colleagues have never failed to live up to my expectations of their discourtesy.
Well, guess we'll just have to pick you up as usual.
That would be good, yes. Feel free to put the room costs on my tab.
Phew, back inside. We can finally take a breather. Okay, Paimon. In and out.
I suppose we could all take a moment to unwind. As I recall, our first meeting took place not far from here. Ah, the nostalgia. Had you already sensed the unique power within my lantern at that time? I see. Words truly do fail to capture your superlative insight. Fortunate then that abyssal energy was only leaking from the fragment in minuscule amounts when we first met. Or I might have been in for a real interrogation.
Yeah, hard to say how that would have played out. We've had a whole bunch of unpleasant run-ins with the Abyss.
You mean to ask why I'm going this far to oppose him? Well, as a Lightkeeper, I'd say I'm simply doing my job.
Yeah! You're covered in more mysteries than Paimon could shake a skewer at. You can't just get out of explaining yourself by making lame excuses.
All right. I suppose I do owe you some honesty, whether out of gratitude or the need to build trust. Your deductions have been quite correct. Should one wish to conceal oneself within a lantern, elemental power alone is not enough. You know humans well, and naturally you understand their limits. But some things that humans would consider difficult are quite normal in the eyes of non-humans.
So, you mean you're one of the latter?
Have you heard of how Snezhnaya was once the realm of the Fae? This race is no longer of any importance, but they still exist, as evidenced by the fact that I am standing before you.
We've heard some scattered legends, but that's all Paimon thought there was to it.
I once turned my heart toward humanity, and thus did I experience loss. I once labored and did much, and put an end to my tale with my own hands. When you realize you are floating in the middle of a vast ocean, you cannot help but feel that swimming in any direction would be equally meaningless. Would it not be better, then, to simply sink? But before I could sink to truly lightless depths, chance had it that I should be awakened by a band of Ratniki. They were facing a horde of abyssal monsters, and could not last against such a disparity in strength. Yet none fled. Those who dwell in darkness for long enough become exceedingly sensitive to all light. And the first light I saw upon awakening was that which shone from their eyes.
Is that why you chose to help them?
Perhaps I was moved by their valor. Perhaps I simply saw my past self in them, and was moved to action for the first time in a long, long while. But I was freshly awoken, and my powers were limited. I could not prevent casualties altogether. The survivors and I buried the fallen heroes. That was the origin of the final night cemetery. Well, not exactly. I was just more familiar with them, so joining up seemed the most convenient way to experience human life.
Doesn't sound too believable.
Well, I believe it. Besides, I'm well past the age when one might believe in things that must be done. Nonetheless, there are still some things I will not allow to happen. The chaos that Rerir has been stirring up is one of them. Tomorrow I shall go and check our records to see if I can find any connection between the Wild Hunt, Rerir, and the Canon.
Will you need us to get you where you need to be?
Oh, I'll be fine. I keep a backup copy at my residence in case of emergencies.
Can you even go back there right now? Won't there be Ratniki watching it?
Thanks for the reminder. I believe they'll have checked my place, but they won't have stayed. All things are ranked according to their priority, and we lack the manpower for such an open-ended stakeout. And even if someone is waiting, I have ways around that. I am the master of my own house, after all.
All right then, we'll trust you. We sure ended up chatting for a while, huh? I'm super tired now. But, you know, feels like we can breathe easier, now that we know you better.
I didn't take you for the cautious sort. Anyway, I hope you'll help me keep this a secret. I'd prefer others not to know about my past unless strictly necessary. nor do I want to attract more trouble on account of being a fae.
Paimon's lips are sealed too.
All right. Thanks again for your help. Good night, you two.
Finally, we can rest. Let's go get some sleep. There's tons to do tomorrow.
It's getting late. The situation is urgent, but rest is vital. Good night, both of you.